Hey there, it's Carrie here at Get Your Vibe Right, and I'm going to introduce you to a process that can dramatically change the stress level that you might be dealing with right now, considering the world is a little chaotic at the moment, to say the least. This is a process from Abraham Hicks. They present a process called turning it over to the universal manager. And this is something I've been doing for years when it comes to the news and the chaos in our world. And you don't have to even be engaged in the news, but like maybe you don't sit down and watch the news every day. But the news is getting through. It is piercing through the veil right now. If you are on any social media, in many public places where they broadcast the news, it's coming through, and it is creating stress and tension and overwhelm in a lot of us. And turning it over to the universal manager is a beautiful process to use in a very specific way when it comes to this kind of emotional overwhelm. I started using this back in, I would say 2008. I had been sailing, so I sailed from the northern United States to southern Chile, and it was about a year total of being on the ocean, going in and out of ports and things like that, and pretty much virtually being disconnected entirely from the world and what was going on in the world. And when I returned home, I was so excited to be able to turn on NPR as I was driving around, and in the span of about 45 minutes, I heard the word hate 3 times in the news, and I turned it off and I never turned it on again, because I had just spent an entire year not listening to the rhetoric out there that those words stuck out to me. And we become so desensitized to a lot of what's said on the news, and we just let it kind of slide right by. And we might think that, oh, that didn't affect me, I didn't take that in, but I guarantee you your consciousness took it in. There is an emotional part of you that is responding to the images and the news that's being reported today. I think that most of us have a moral imperative to be in the know, to know what's going on, to be able to know about the injustices of the world so that we can do something about them. But most of the time, we can't do anything about them. And this is where the universal manager comes in. I said, I'm not listening to the news anymore, but I am here to help. I want to make a difference in the world. So I am going to ask you, universal manager, the divine, please lead and guide me to the people that I can help. Show me where I can make a difference. I will absolutely show up and pay attention then, but I am not going to put a bunch of negativity into my mind, my heart, my nervous system that I can't take any action on anymore. I'm done with that. So I subscribed in the help of the universal manager, and it's worked beautifully for almost 20 years. Messages make it to my inbox, people knock on my door, I hear about things by word of mouth, and I show up and I help. But I no longer let the things that I can't do anything about affect me emotionally by giving them too much attention. If I'm giving it attention, I am going to take an action on it. If I'm not going to take an action, I'm not giving it my attention. And I let the universal manager deal with the rest of it. And I know that there are many people who are being called into service at the right time, at the right place. They are there, they are able to help, and they're the right person to give that support. I think that's God's business. And when it's my turn, I get a knock at the door, or I get some kind of notification that it's for me. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling stressed, but you feel like you have to be paying attention because it is the way that you're supporting the effort, I would say to you that is putting too much burden on your own internal systems, and it would be better to leave that up to the universal manager to do what they do in creating the network of people who support, and you just sit back and take care of yourself. I'm often reminded of one thing that the Buddha said, which was, to change the world, I only have to change one person, and that's me. And that's because the world, outside world, is a reflection of who we are. And I think often our energies are better spent working on our own internal emotional state than paying attention to the outside world. So if you needed permission to let go, this is your permission to let go and let the universal manager take over.